Hello, seventh graders. I'm trying to make this video super short. So I'm going to show you how to fill out the photosynthesis and respiration worksheet. So we're going to go ahead and click on it. Oh, click on it, and I'm going to open up a new one. Obviously, you will open up your own copy. Hide this. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bigger so we can see it. Oh, that's 50. Okay, so first, what you are going to do is you are going to read these paragraphs. What's really important is for you to look at the formula for photosynthesis. So we know that for photosynthesis to occur, we need carbon dioxide, water, and some light. And then the reaction occurs, that's what that arrow shows. And then it produces glucose and oxygen, which is what we breathe in, and we breathe out carbon dioxide. So it produces its own food, which is glucose or sugar. So you're going to read this, and if you read this section up here, and it's going to answer this question right here. Within the chloroplast located in the cells of plants, carbon dioxide molecules and water molecules. Let's see if I can make this a tiny bit bigger. This is going to be way too big. Boom. Okay, that's okay. Let's see. There we go. Within the chloroplast located in the cells of plants, carbon dioxide molecules and water molecules are disassembled, or they're broken apart, and the atoms they contain are used to build a very critical molecule, which is glucose, that sugar that we were talking about. It's a pretty big molecule and made out of 6 carbon atoms and 12 hydrogen atoms and 6 oxygen atoms. Contained within glucose is a lot of energy that all living things can extract and use to live. So it must need enough carbon dioxide and water. So what we're going to do down here, it says, let's see what we can determine if we can just determine just how many carbon dioxide and water molecules it would take to build one glucose molecule. So we see the CO2 here, and we're looking for these red. And we see that there are 6 red, but let's just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 CO2s. And then H2Os, we see the so there's double H and 6 O's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't know why there's 13. That's kind of strange. Oh, because they said that there's extra. Okay, that's perfect. So we have 6 H2Os. 6. Beautiful. It bothers me that that's not in the middle. You don't have to fix this. That's just me. Okay, so you read the rest of this. Producers are the plants which produce via photosynthesis. So only plants are producers. Okay, let's make this a little bit smaller now because it's a little large for this. So then we are going to look at cellular respiration. We're going to look at the formula, which takes that sugar that we get from the plants, the oxygen that we breathe in, and then in our body that reaction happens with that arrow. And then we expel carbon dioxide. We also expel water. And then we also create our own energy in our body from this glucose sugar, which is called ATP. And that's what creates the energy for our cells and our bodies to function. So blah, 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 you're going to read all this. You're not going to go blah, blah, blah like I did. So we are going to do this part first because it's on this page. What are the reactants? So the inputs of cellular respiration. So we're going to go up here, and the inputs are the things that are going into the chemical reaction. So they're going to be on this left side. So we have our glucose and our oxygen. Those are the things that we need to create our energy, is that sugar and our oxygen. And then what are the products of cellular respiration? So what comes out of us is, and you can choose 2 of them. I'm going to say carbon dioxide and water, because those are the things that photosynthesis needs to happen as well. So we have carbon dioxide and water for our products, because we expel CO2 and water. And we can go back to the last page to see the reactants for photosynthesis, the things that photosynthesis needs. But you guys are 7th graders, and you guys know what a plant needs to photosynthesize. So they need water, and they also need CO2. They also need light as well. And that is something that you can put, but I would prefer these two answers. And then what are the products? So what are the products of photosynthesis? What does it create? It creates that sugar for themselves, those plants. And then it also creates oxygen. So as you guys can see between these two, they're complete opposites. So reactants for photosynthesis are the products for respiration. And then the products of photosynthesis are then the reactants for cellular respiration. So they're just switched. And they both need energy, and the energy for photosynthesis is sunlight, and the energy for cellular respiration is ATP, because that's what we use. All right, moving on. Oops, I guess I've already filled out some of this. So what organelle does photosynthesis occur? It's the chloroplast. And then which organelle does cellular respiration occur? And that's going to be the mitochondria. Both photosynthesis and respiration involve energy, but in different forms. In photosynthesis, cells absorb energy in the form of sunlight. In cellular respiration, we release energy in the form of ATP, which it has a longer name, but I'm not gonna expect you to do that. It is often said that all energy on life comes from the sun. Do you agree? Defend your answer. I'm not gonna give you this. You are gonna have to come up with your own answer. So if we get our energy from plants and the plants get the energy from the sun, that's all I'm giving you. Alrighty, fill in the box with the chemical equation for respiration. So this one is going to be very easy because they give us for photosynthesis, and it's going to be exactly opposite. We are going to go ahead and I'm just going to have you do the bottom one, which is going to be for cellular respiration. What we intake is our oxygen plus our glucose, the ones because we eat plants. And then that turns into, you can do 2 dashes and that little weirdo dude, and it turns into an arrow. Then what we produce when we, after cellular respiration, is we produce carbon dioxide, CO2, and we also produce water. So that is all you need to put in there. If you want to go above and beyond, we can go ahead and take our C6H12O2 plus 6O2 equals 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus ATP. That is what you would be expected to put in there. All right, so I just put this one in for you guys. The law of conservation of mass just means that in a chemical reaction, what goes in always comes out. So when we do a reaction, so the mass stays the same. If you want to think about it as the weight, you can, but they are different. So that means that the weight of an apple after it is eaten is still the same because you ate it all, if you ate the core and stuff. So, but don't eat apple seeds. Those are poisonous to you if you eat too many. Okay. The law of conservation of mass means that you will have 6 CO2, water, and oxygen molecules going into photosynthesis and have just as many going out. So I want you to go ahead and write that answer into your worksheet. And then describe the relationship between the products and reactants of photosynthesis and cellular respiration. We have the chloroplast, which is a photosynthesis. O2 goes in, glucose goes in to the mitochondria because we take those things in when we breathe. And then we expel water and CO2. And those things are needed to go into photosynthesis. So without one, the other does not exist. So photosynthesis and cellular respiration are opposite of one another. The reactants of one are the products of the other. So that means that it's a cycle. What goes in to one and goes out the other goes in the other and then out. It can't, if we took water out of this production, then it would cease to exist. Okay, so that is what I want you to write on your worksheet.